Welcome again to the Franciscan Hermitage here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Today we're celebrating the 16th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And I just want to spend a little bit of time on the Gospel. This Gospel is a very important one, but also one that is quoted a lot. Now, if you remember last week, we talked about how important the spirit world was. And in our society today, we've got an imbalance. The concentration in our society is so much to the physical world that there's this imbalance in the spirit world. We need the balance. Well, in the story, Jesus makes it very clear. The spirit world is more important. And that's the symbolism of Martha and Mary. Martha is complaining that she's very busy and Mary is not helping her. Mary is the contemplative person who was sitting, listening to Jesus and getting involved in understanding further the world of the Spirit. And so Jesus says, famously, "Martha, Martha, you are concerned about many things, but Mary has chosen the better part." You know, my dear friends, sometimes it takes trauma for people to understand the importance of the spirit world. I have a classmate who was in the Vietnam War. And when he experienced the horror of war, his values changed dramatically. And he understood that this material world is not where all of the reality is. So when he got out of the service, he came to the order and was older than most of us who are joining at that time. And he became a very, very important person in our Franciscan order all the years of his life. One of the things that he did that was very unique, he wanted to reach as many people as possible. And so he started radio programs in the houses where he was stationed. And he touched a lot of people, helping them to understand the importance of the spirit world. But you know, some of you may have heard this story before, but you know, my folks had to go through trauma to learn that also. You know, my folks were married just a year before the Depression. My dad was the last of 13. And all of my dad's brothers and sisters who married and had children, that entire generation were boys. But my mom and dad's first child was a girl. You can imagine how important that was. Mary Sunshine, they called her. And at age 3, she was run over by a truck in front of our house and killed. And my older brother was just an infant at that time. And my mom and my dad went through hell. And you know, years later, when I was carrying on a conversation with my mom, she said to me, "Buddy, I think that one of the biggest blessings that God gave me and your dad was to take Madish when he did." I was shocked. And I said, "Ma, why?" Well, she said, "You know, before Madish died, it was, our life was all about the car and the money and the good times. And when Madish died, none of that made any sense to them. What was important is the family." And from that time on, they spent their entire life bringing love into our family. And that love became like a magnet that affected practically everyone in our neighborhood. Now my point is this: you don't have to have a trauma to understand how important the spirit world is. You can start working on your own to develop that understanding. That's what we do here at the Hermitage. We teach people how to go within in meditation and come directly in touch with the divine presence that is there in everyone. And when they get that experience, and they experience unending peace and joy and a love like they've never experienced before, they too come to understand this, the physical world is not where it is. Now you can't forget about the spirit world. What I said at the beginning is you have to have the balance. But right now in our society, we need to create the balance. So what I'm suggesting is that as you go through the coming week, check out for yourself your understanding of the spirit world and see what you can do about doing a better job of creating that balance. When you come to experience divine love, your life will change dramatically. And it's not impossible. Everybody can do that because you are all powerful spiritual beings. So see what you can do about going into the quiet. Come to understanding of that spirit world, and then spread the good news by your example. Have a wonderful week, and God bless you all.